Well, Adam White, resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute and law professor at the Antonin Scalia Law School, joins me now on Skype to talk more about where things stand in the presidential election. Adam, welcome back. Always great to speak with you. Yesterday, a group of federal officials, election supervisors, and voting technology vendors issued a statement calling the November 3rd election, quote, the most secure in American history. What are your thoughts on that and the legal merits when it comes to the president's challenges?
Thank you. This report came from the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency within the Department of Homeland Security. I think it's an important reassurance of the quality of these elections. It won't control individual lawsuits that the president is now filing, but I do think it sets the overall tone of public confidence in the elections that we just had.
Some supporters of President Trump have compared to, what's taking place now to what happened in Florida back in the 2000 presidential election between Al Gore and George W. Bush. Do you think that's a fair comparison?
Well, I think it's a good reminder that we can sustain a fight over the elections. But of course, there are big differences between the two. In Bush v. Gore, we were talking about a recount of an election that had already been counted, and there were real disputes over a very small number of ballots over voter intent on specific ballots. This seems fundamentally different. Fights over how to count the ballots in the first instance without any real clear proof of what ballots exactly are being disputed right now, really what the dispute is at all, other than some pretty broad accusations of malfeasance.
And there's been a lot of talk about potential risks and damage the longer that a transition is delayed. Can we talk a little bit more about that and your thoughts as we watch all of this play out?
I think that's a very big risk. Right now, there are a number of things happening around the world. Setting aside the COVID pandemic at home, we see some questionable moves right now from China and elsewhere. I think the nation needs to project confidence right now in a smooth transition of power, because to the extent that there's any doubt about that, any sort of doubt abroad about the security of American governance at home, its steadiness at home, this is the moment that foreign countries will take to make moves that they might not otherwise take. So anything that the United States can do to project confidence and steadiness is crucial.
A lot of people are urging the president to concede. As you know, concession speeches, they're not required by law. And as we know, President Trump has not conceded at this point. That said, can you talk about the symbolism attached to concession speeches and what they signify?
I think the symbolism is important, both as a matter of a concession speech by which a president helps, or the loser of any election, helps move the government from election back to the task of governance. But given what I see to be President Trump's loss in this election, I think it's also important for him to take a moment to give a farewell address, which is an important moment in any presidency, however it ends, for that leader to give his thoughts on governance and the state of the country to the public. At the end of the day, though, the most important thing is less what the president says and more in terms of what he does, what his administration does in facilitating a steady transition from one administration to the next.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Adam White, resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute and also law professor at the Antonin Scalia Law School. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you.